What's up, cats? Welcome back to the channel. It's a Monday morning and afternoon and evening. So good evening, good morning, and good afternoon to you. I'm going to be continuing the work today on the Cyberpunk themed packs that I'm putting together. And before I do that, I just want you to be able to contact me. So let's get the chat box up and live. Cool, yeah, so for those of you who are new to the channel, what I do is make Ableton Live packs for the community, Creative Commons music users like game makers and video makers. You know, you get those sites where you are able to download music for free and use it in your game in exchange for crediting the creator. That's me. I'm the creator and I'm here to provide that music to you. And if you're a fan of Ableton Live, you get really high quality packs of completed songs, the project files, all self-contained, and you won't get any missing files or missing samples or VSTs. When you open them, you can just download them and get going. It should be fun. So check out the link in the channel description if that sounds good to you. It's bit.ly/JB0 in case you're someone who remembers stuff like that. RP, how you doing? Retroplays has arrived. That's how you know the stream has started. How you doing, bro man or whatever your preferred choice of gender is. Good to see you today. What's cooking? How's it going? And what have you got planned for this beautiful day today? I think you know what I've got planned for today, and that is to continue the work in basically copying the Cyberpunk 2077 game soundtrack and releasing it as Ableton Live templates. And what I have to do, unfortunately, while I stream is listen to this track over here, which you can't hear. The reason you can't hear it is because if I play it, I get flagged on YouTube for copyright. So I'm listening to it in the background, and then slowly I'm piecing it together, and it's sounding something like this so far, just the rhythm section. RP says, great, still working on episode 3, and I like the drums. Cool, thanks very much. I'm finding that a lot of this cyberpunk stuff is actually just drum. It's very drum heavy, drum, and there's not like melodies like you'll find in some of the piano work I've done, or even the 90s stuff that I've done is like quite melodic. This is more like soundtrack and ambient. So how's work on the sitcom coming along, RP? I'm glad to hear that things are moving forward. Trying to hear something here. Yeah, it's a bit of a... Unfortunately, they just stopped drilling upstairs. We got some plumbing issues today, so there is actually a bit of drilling in the background. I might have to do something about that. Okay. All right. So we've got a bunch of different sounds happening today. Let's see if we can emulate them using texture and yeah, basically come up with some cool sounds. I didn't even have time before today's stream to plug this thing in. This is a pretty cool little device. This is the controller keyboard that I use. You just plug it in, and now you'll see a red box arrive on the screen. There it is. Now that is the controller box for the software. That's pretty cool. How it works is, you see these clips over here. You've got one in the top left, my top left, and then 3 over here. And you'll notice the same pattern on the actual grid. Over here, you've got 1 in the top left and 3 over there. So each one of these corresponds to a clip on the screen. I'm actually going to go ahead and make the screen a little bit bigger. I think it works well when we keep it nice and huge. So I'm going to change that to 130. Then you should be able to see things more clearly as a mobile user or something. RP says, well, I just stopped by. See you next stream and good luck. Retroplays, thanks for stopping by. Always good to see you. And yeah, have a cool day. I really hope you have a rad day. I'll see you soon. You know where to find me. Alright, let's get on with it. Okay. Okay, so this kick, we need an orchestral sounding ambient patch. Okay. Now for this project, I'm doing it a bit differently to usual. My approach is usually just to start writing music and usually using a keyboard. What I'm doing for this project though is I'm starting with the sound design itself. So you'll notice here I've got a folder So when I get out the way, you'll see. I've got a folder here for Cyberpunk, which is all the patches that I'm creating specifically for this project that I'm going to be reusing and piecing together the tracks out of. And I'm keeping everything in 5 different buckets, so to speak. One is bass, one is kit, lead, pad, and texture. Everything I do must fall into one of those, because I believe, and it's been said, that you can only really have a track with 5 elements in it. Everything, if you start adding things outside of those buckets, then sure, there are exceptions to the rules when it comes to art and music, but I think a good approach, a systematic approach, is having them all in these predictable state containers, so to speak. So I do actually have a couple of textures open, but I know for a fact that none of them are the effect I'm going for, which is a very it's an ambient, an atmospheric pad sound. So I'm going to start up with looking for pad sounds, but in the general Ableton library. And specifically, I happen to know that the instrument that's going to do best with this is Wavetable. Wavetable is really good. I've just been getting into it in this project, and I'm finding it's really good. So let's go ahead and see what we can come up with for one of these Wavetable things. Okay. I'm also finding that Darbuka is in fact a texture channel, and so I want to just organize this project a little bit. Yeah, actually, let's come back to organizing it. Right now, we're going to start up with the Wavetable itself. So, wire bass. That was useful for the previous project. I'm not going to use it for this one, but I've got it saved in case I need it. So let's get rid of that. Okay, so now you can probably hear some drilling in the background. I might go silent. My voice is just going to go quiet now, but I'm going to carry on working on this project just so that you don't have to listen to it. Here we go. Cool. At least the drilling upstairs has stopped. I was silent a bit there, but I was doing some recording and you didn't see it, but in my left hand I had a pitch bend, pitch wheel modulation wheel over here. Yeah, can't really see it, but anyway. This guy over here is responsible for that cool sound. And I was doing that very subtly in the left hand. So now I've got this 16 bar passage, which should have recorded, there it is, the pitch bend data. So now when I play it back, you're going to see the pitch goes up as that line goes up there. I'm going to simplify this envelope too, just to kind of reduce a little bit of data. Now I want to just fine tune this sound. So I've got what I'm going to call pad, which is this wavetable sound. It's definitely too loud, so we'll just take it down a bit. And I think it also needs to have an extra octave, so we're going to just go up an octave a little bit. Let's take one of these B flats and just kind of stick it up there. There you go. Now it comes down to reverb. Okay, a lot of the reverb in the Cyberpunk sound is it's very important actually. For some reason there's a lot of reverb on everything in Cyberpunk. I'm going to put it directly onto this pad. Let's just see how that sounds. And some of these presets over here give you access to, quite long decay sounds. I'm just trying to get the right impulse response, which is the snapshot of the room's kind of profile, its identity, that we can then emulate in the software. So this is how it sounds with the reverb on it. Much better. And here's dry. That's much more in your face and loud. This one's good. I find not to mess with stereo too much. It tends to mess things up a bit. And then size, we can take that up. Decay can be longer than 4 seconds. It can be like 5 or 6 seconds. So when we stop it, we should hear, yeah, that's what I wanted. A subtle kind of, yeah, there we go. I also just want to see what types of effects we got on this. I don't want that too high grainy sound. A little bit of high shimmer is good, but this is what we're going for, this kind of effect now. Cool. It's kind of creepy, it's good, it suits the vibe. So let's call that the pad sound for now. And we're going to bring that in the second or the third scene. We don't bring that in immediately. So let's do that. And next up, we can actually get rid of these 2 scenes too. Nothing happening there. And I'm going to go ahead and actually... No, that's fine. We'll do that. Cool. So this is it, kids, making cyberpunk music on a Monday. If you're new to the channel, check out the link in the description for a free download. It's a feed of the free stuff I'm releasing via Patreon. When I say stuff, I mean not just music tracks like master WAV files, but also Ableton project files for some of the original music I've written and covers or sound alikes of existing tunes like Ghostbusters and some Aphex Twin from the 90s. Appreciate the support. The mission here is to make Ableton Live templates available to people, to get more people into the software and using music in general. Ableton's a good starting point, but it can be a bit difficult to learn. So by importing these templates, by downloading these templates, you get a kind of a head start as a beginner producer on Ableton, or someone who's just interested in how a composer like myself uses the software to make musical sounding music. And by that I don't mean to sound like a total doofus, but yeah, there's some music out there which isn't very musical. It's just kind of the approach that's been taken is like whatever's easiest and whatever's like the low-hanging fruit approach. I don't do that. I put a lot of effort into the music I make. You can hear it, you can see it, you can feel it, and yeah, hopefully it comes through in this value that I'm offering. So if you like that, sub the channel, and you can sign up as a patron, free or paid. If you're free, no problem, you'll just get an email every time I release something, and I do release free stuff quite often. So yeah, this is a user-friendly channel, and yeah, I'd appreciate you share the love with others because I'm trying to grow it. I'm seeing some sub growth over the last couple of months, which is cool. Now that I've hit 1,000 subs, YouTube is starting to reward me with more rapid growth, but I'm still a long way from, you know, earning enough to make this sustainable. So yeah, I appreciate your support and sharing the love. Let's play the second scene. Cool. Now I'm going to listen out over here for the for this. Oh, no, I don't want to start there. Cool. Now I'm going to do something I don't normally do, which is before the beat comes in, I want to create a scene which is just no beat, but just brooding atmospheric kind of tension. I'm going to use a bass line. Not that one though. Let's try out one of my other preset basses in the Cyberpunk category. So I'm making all of these devices, and they all come bundled with the templates that you download. I can't remember how Creek Bank sounds. Let's give that a listen. No, not there. We go. That's it. Creek Bank. Not the sound I'm going for. Crayon. I think I just had that now. Let's listen to that. Not really what I'm going for either. So now we're going to have to create a new bass sound. And I'm going to do that by listening to the reference track, which is from the Cyberpunk 2077 soundtrack. I've got that playing in the background. This one over here. You can't hear it because I don't want to get flagged on YouTube if I play it back. That's what will happen. Okay, and let's start out with this very subtle din 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 din. We're going to pause it on 1 like this. Okay. No, that's not what I want. What I want is this one here to be, sorry, just this one over here, just the kick from this. So that's it, yeah. Half of that time, that's it. This is all I want, and maybe even just cut the end of it down. Okay, so next thing I've got to get is a custom bass sound. Now I've been slowly creating the bass sounds, as you can see in my library over here, but I don't have one that currently fits the sound I'm going for. What I'm going for is something different, so let's find it. I'm going to start as usual with Wavetable and get the go to the instruments browser and see if they got a bass sound that serves as a good starting point for what I'm trying to achieve here. I'm going to just get rid of everything. I'm going to leave the monoizer and the multiband compressor. I've got one of these to make the bass mono, and I've got one of them to kind of just roll off the highs a little bit, prioritize the lows. Actually with bass you should be rolling off the middles more than anything. Okay. Basic Reese bass, that might work. Let's see. That, I think this one is the closest one to what we're trying to achieve. Let's hear it out. Let's go down. That's it. Yeah. Now we're talking somewhere similar. Okay, good. So bass, I'm going to first create an arpeggiator and get that into the bass chain just before the bass itself. Now we should have that kind of sound. It's just a little bit slow. That's what I'm after. There we go, that's more like it. Now we can even bring out the delay a bit, the release at least. And bass shouldn't be cut off. Okay, now let's try that out just with the kit playing in the background. This is a nice tension builder. Let's just bring the resonance down. We don't want it to be too active. Okay, good. I like this. This kind of works on its own, so I'm not even going to mess around too much. I'm just going to go for it. And what key is this track actually in? I think it's a G minor. Okay, good. I like it's in A minor. Okay, good. So we got this A minor to B flat sound, and we'll tweak that as we go. Okay, we've got a drill in the background. Someone's drilling upstairs. Sorry about this. I'm just going to go into quiet mode so you'll see me working and hear the track itself, but you won't hear my voice. Here we go. Right on, making some progress here. So what I just did now is record this pad part. Not really sold on it, but let's just hear how it sounds with a bit of wobble. So I'm going to go to MIDI control, grab this pitch bend envelope, and then paste it over the original, the recent recording. And now we've got this wobbly sounding, it should be wobbling here. Give it a listen. Not so sure about the harmonic progression, the way it goes from one to the next. It sounds pretty bad, actually. Let's not do that. So I'm going to undo the pitch bend. And now we've got it locked on there, unfortunately. Let's just redo that. Nope. And there we go. Okay, we've got a problem here. MIDI control. Pitch bend needs to be 0. That's it. Okay, so what I'm trying to do now is just create an atmospheric intro that we can use to create some of this introductory tension for this track before we drop into this. It's supposed to be like just a little bit of a teaser. Maybe we take it down an octave or two, or just maybe re-record it. I don't like the feel of it, and a lot of this stuff just comes down to feel. So I know we're going to an A minor. Maybe we should do it in E just to kind of... Although I don't want to be thinking too much in terms of key for this one. Just want to be going with what sounds good, you know? I get too lost in theory and mentality. It shouldn't be that way. Also just going to copy over one of these. Yeah. I've got a little bit of texture there. I don't want to focus on the texture just now. And this kick can also be, I think we must use a second kick here. Alright, let's go with the second kick. I don't think we need the first one for this section. So that is the one that is being triggered right now. Let's go over to it and change it. So chain selector on kick 2. Kick 1 and, okay, I see, chain selector on kick 2 must actually be unmapped, because if we change the one, we change the other, which means it's been a bit poorly laid out. Which kick sounds good to you? It's got to be a bit punchy, actually. Bass. How's the bass sound? That doesn't sound too bad there. And then we drop over to the next kick. Okay, good, but we can't actually have this there. Let's just do it from there. Yeah, so we're going to go from this kind of D minor sound. Which I think is not actually playing the game very well. I think it needs to be a bit more, I don't know, just, but not so buzzy. So let's just try a low D minor. So what I'm looking for, hey, Arjun Duda Hojo. Sorry, let me just try and get your name right there, Arjun. What is cooking? Okay, is Arjun cool? How's it going? How are you doing today, Arjun? Well, thanks for stopping by. What I'm doing is making some Ableton Live packs. I'm creating a Cyberpunk theme pack. What brings you here today? What's your game? Are you an Ableton user? Are you the guys that was studying that House of the Rising Sun on the piano? Did I remember you right? That's an interesting sound. Digi piano. It's got a bit of a vocal sound to it. Let's hear how that sounds with the rest of this thing. that's the change that we're going for. So let's try it here. Oh, cool. You use both Ableton and Fruity Loops. Yeah, you've been here before, haven't you? Trying to come up with a part here. There's a lot of attack on this. I want to bring it down. 4. Let's just roll it in a little bit slightly. 4. Bit longer. Cool, I'm going to record this part. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go, into this last note. Just play the chord up here. 3, 4. Okay, let's try that out. 2, 3. Screwed it up a bit here, but anyway. Let's overwrite. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the effect I'm going for there. It's going to be a riser, a build up to the actual drop. So we're going to do it layer by layer. That's the idea here. Cool, man. Did you link me, Arjun? Did you link me to your profile? I don't know if I've had a chance to check out the stuff that you've made. I'd love to check it out. Okay. Right, now let's get a sample in that's a kind of a riser, or at least it doesn't have to be a sample. It's just got to be a bit of a riser. So to do that, I'm going to rely more on samples for this particular project. So just Ableton's really good at just allowing you to drop in samples and let them play back, and to play multiple ones at once and all of that. So I'm just going to go ahead and create what I'm calling a texture track, but it's actually just like risers. I think this is a MIDI track. Yeah, we need an audio track that is just devoted to samples and risers. I don't use it much, but I'm going to start using it more in this project. So let's go with Ghost Hack Abstract Foley, whatever that is. Sure, I'll. DJ Arjun says, sure, I'll, and then 3 exclamation marks. Okay, well, I think that means you must send me the link to your stuff. I'd like to listen to it. Okay, what I'm looking for now is a long riser like that, but much longer. Okay, I'm actually scrolling through patches. You can't see them or hear them because Ableton doesn't let you play back tracks like that. So I've loaded up the sample. I'm going to reverse it. I'm also going to release the warp, and that should give me. Actually, I do need to kind of warp this. Take the gain down. Maybe these are usually quite loud, so I'll take it down 18 dB. Let's play that scene again. Here we go. I've also got to change that to go to the pre-master, not the master. And it started at bar 9, so that it's halfway there already. And then I'm just going to cut it off here. And we can also control the bass like this. That's what we want. All right. So let's give that a bash. The idea here is that we don't loop it and that it sounds like this. Let's give it a crack. Okay, here we go. Bass cut off down. We started something like this. We'll let the bass come in a little bit. With these knobs I'm controlling. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we need a dope beat, which I'm going to work on in this next session, this next chapter. Cool. So then it goes to that, and then we bring in that same pad. I'm not convinced that this is the right sound pad. I found this one called Dissenting Dreams. Let me get out the way, you can see it. Dissenting Dreams. So I'm going to hit Q and hot swap that out, because I don't actually want that one. It's a bit too basic. So I'm just listening now for something that sounds grainy and textured like the original track that I'm trying to copy. That's the closest I've found so far. Prehistoric VHS. Let's try the same exact thing with this patch. Not so sure about this filter, it's doing weird things. The build-up works quite nicely. Dung, dung. Okay, so that works quite nicely, except how long is this? Yeah, it's 8. That's where it should be. Alright, let's get back to the pad. I want to just change this to a regular filter. So I'm going to change it from a dip and turn off filter 1. There we go. Yeah, that should do it. I'm quite traditional with my filters. I don't really like, with a cutoff filter, I don't want to be. Let's listen to the reference track again. What's this one over here? Actually, I've just noticed that the bass. This sound that I've created here is not really what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is something like. This is weird. It's allowing me to play back something it shouldn't be allowing me to play back. Why would that be the case? Oh, I know why. I'm meeting the pre-master. Okay, good. Okay, so I've got a different sounding thing going here. Let's turn the arpeggiator off and just listen to this. Okay. Now I'm going to take the LFO of this bass sound and I'm going to just adjust, I'm going to add it to the, send it to the pitch, because I want the LFO to actually make a bit of a what I'm going for here is that's the sound I'm going for there. So matrix pitch should go to pitch wheel. Is that LFO1 or LFO2? I think LFO1 is okay. I'm just figuring out how to reverse engineer this sound that I'm hearing in the reference track, and it looks like I'm not actually getting there. I'm aiming for like an ambulance sound, woo, 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 like a siren, you know. Let's try it here. Cool. FO1 is not really playing ball. And let's take the shape and make it more like. How do we alter this shape? That's not really what I want here. Shape there, shape. No, not really what I'm after. The attack is maybe what I'm after. That's not doing it. And we've got a re-trigger on. Maybe it's the envelope that needs to go to that. Okay. Figuring out how to do this stuff is half the game, you know, like being able to reverse engineer a sound that you want to be able to actually make it just by ear. That's the goal here. I think we're going to have to just stick with the arpeggiator idea. just... And then I'm going to take this pad. I'm going to just come up with a second idea for it. I just want to try something out. So I'm going to put a single note in here, which is the D, and play that. And play it an octave lower. It's not playing. Cool, not playing. Alright, let's just keep going like we were. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Everything I do is always in such a rush, it has to be. DJ Arjun says, can I ask you some questions? Sure thing, man, you have my attention. Just pop a question in the chat and I'll do my best to answer it. I haven't used Fruity Loops much myself, but I can answer all sorts of questions about music production using computers. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. You're welcome to ask questions. It's kind of why I'm here. I like this one called Replicant Sunset. In Brave Runner, Replicant is the name of the android. It's called the Replicant. Very convincing humanoid android. I've only got a few minutes left. I usually finish in about 10 minutes. So yeah, I'll go ahead and ask. Otherwise, I'll be back again tomorrow at the same time. We can kick out for sure. I don't want djembe in this, but I do want so pad is actually harmony. I'm going to talk about pad. I can't take that right now. Cool, and now we're going to go for this kind of thing. Alright, let's try this out. Okay, very subtle. Okay. Percussive. No, none of those are going to work. Synth keys. Yo, I find this synthesis so interesting, you know, just taking electronic signals and turning it into music. Sorry, I know you can't hear anything, but I'm just rapidly scrolling through patches to try and get an appropriate sound for this intro. We need a second layer, basically. Let's just play this Dark and Fragile. Maybe that is the one that I want. Let's just play it with that. This is nice, yeah. Dark synthwave. We can start it lower though. Start it down here. What is that kick? Something sounds not quite right, but anyway, we'll keep that there. So I'm going to call harm and pad one sort of unit, and let's just color these properly. So at the moment I've got kicks and this darbuka also playing a sort of rhythmic role. I'm going to just turn these guys into sort of orangish pads. Darbuka, we're going to call it texture. I'm going to group it with the other one. I'm going to give that a kind of that color roll. And then these guys over here, bass I normally make blue, and then harmony and pad and melody. Harmony and pad I'll make kind of yellow. And now we've got this new guy, and let's also just get these colors looking nice. Oops, I've just kind of done something bad, and assign track color to clips, so now it kind of looks nice too. Good, so I'm making a bit of progress here. I'm just looking for a specific, that's what I'm looking for, something like that. You can't hear it, but let's get that up so you can hear it. I've duplicated the pre-master accidentally, kill that, and we'll go back to here, pre-master, great. Cool, so you should be able to hear that now. Alright, so what I'm looking for now, DJ Arjun says, I have a lot of problems in the low end and my mix does sound fuller. Okay, one thing I've learned about having like this is an amateur space, it's a garage, it's not properly treated for sound production. You either have a studio which is properly treated for sound production or you don't. There is no real middle ground, and I've spent and wasted a lot of time thinking that I can pull off high quality mixes in spaces that aren't set up for that. What you actually need is a space that contains bass properly. It doesn't reflect it, so you have bass traps and the right size and shape of room. It's expensive to get a studio like that, but the results are that when you turn up the sub level on your sub speakers or whatever you're using, you'll actually hear an accurate representation of how that sound is going to sound across all systems, including big concert rigs. Now, I know we're not at that stage, okay, so I'm an amateur, I do this 1 hour a day, but that's something I've learned, is that the low end of a mix, you can't really cheat it. You have to just accept that it's, if you're making it in a room like this room I'm in, it's not going to sound like you think it will when you play it back in a professionally treated space or on professional sound systems. Don't try and fool yourself is what I'm saying. Do your best, do your best. The best advice I can give you is for the low end, you kind of got to squash it. You've got to brick wall it. In other words, have a lot of compression on it and then control the volume, not so much by trying to make it mix with everything else, but just having it as a low layer. And if something clashes, like if you've got another instrument, a synth or a kick drum that clashes with the bass, in other words, it's making it peak or it's sounding bad, then you have to stop the bass playback at that moment. So that means actually sequencing the note, turning the note into a gap like that when the kick plays. If you have or you can add a sidechain compressor. I think you might know what that is. Sidechain will only allow one of the two signals to come through at the same time, the kick or the bass. It squashes the one signal down. So that's my experience. I hope it's useful to you. All I try to do here is I try and make a reasonable amount of bass, but I don't try to overdo it because I think our music culture has an obsession with bass. I don't think we need as much as we think we do. Musicality isn't about how loud or well produced the bass is. It's about your choice of instrumentation and composition. So this stuff, listen to this for example. This is a very bass heavy track. I've got just this pair of headphones. I've got a subwoofer that I sometimes use, but honestly I just kind of do my best with what I've got. I wish I could say here's what you need to hear, but I don't have a studio that costs $100,000, so I can't tell you what it's going to sound like on a professional. All I know is that bass is the trouble area. It's the trouble frequency. It's hard to contain. It's hard to do properly. Okay, cool. Let's give this one a bash. Oh, this is what I was doing, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Alright, now this guy here, this sound here, what I'm trying to do with it is... Does that work? Do you hear what I'm saying, Arjun? It's I'm like I said, I'm not pretending to be a superstar producer, but I have learned a lot over the last 20 years, and the one thing I've learned is that bass is you can't really cheat it. You have to just accept that your ability to produce music is proportional to the space that you've created. And you can make a pretty good studio, just, you know, like I've done this kind of thing on a budget for ages. I haven't spent like a lot of money on my sound production at all. And you get decent results. Another tip for you, use BandLab. I think it's bandlab.com. That is I put the link in the channel. It's a website where you can upload your tracks and get the instant mastering done. So it'll give you a much better sounding track. Just download for free. I recently discovered them and I've started using them for all of my music. You'll hear the difference. So go check out bandlab.com, I think, or just search BandLab and you'll hear. Right, let's give this a bash. One more try. I'm gonna try. That's what I'm going for. I want this LFO to go whoa, whoa, whoa. Very good. Now let's take the rate down. Up, sorry. I don't want it to be hertz. I want it to be good. And now we take the amount down. Okay, I'm struggling to hear it. One, two, three, four. Why is it so? Where's all the sound coming from? This one here. Yeah, okay, so harmony, the harmony sound that I've got, let's take the cutoff down, bring it up in. Okay, stop, reset the ears, and start again. That's what we want. It's kind of like slow ambient sound. Yeah, okay. Now the amount of this. That's the sound I'm going for, believe it or not. It sounds like a cow in labor, but the res can come all the way down. Let's just change this. Let's get something a bit more. I'm hunting the patch, I'm hunting the sound. Let's get a second oscillator in there. That may be what I'm looking for exactly, yeah. Also don't like this ding, this sudden kind of, it's the filter envelope which is not, that's it. Let's use that as an intro, so I'm going to start this. Where's the right key now? Octave up.